Hey guys, this is Tauna. Today we're talking about the Tricky Terrain deck, and holy cow, this is actually probably the best reprint value I think that we've ever seen within a Precon, which is really, really nice. I think this is a very, very interesting deck. There are a couple issues in here, but most of those issues come from it being a commander product, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But overall, let's just talk about the deck. So this is the Simic deck for Modern Horizons 3, based around Omo, Queen of Vesulva. Yeah, anyway. So her whole thing is around everything counter. So this is a lands matter deck. Essentially, you want as many land types as possible for a whole lot of different things. When she attacks, she manages to put an everything counter onto a target land and a target creature. A land with an everything counter on it is every land type. Now, keep in mind that is not every basic land type. That is just every land type. So, any, gates, any of the kind of power plants and stuff like that, wild deserts, etc., just any land type you can think of, it's going to be that. The other one is the non-land creatures. So any, just normal creatures that aren't based on lands will get an everything counter. They become every creature type. So essentially, it's giving like a mask wood nexus to that one creature. So there's some very interesting stuff that they've done with this deck. I really, really find it very, very interesting. I do think that, there's some clear areas that they can do upgrades and stuff with, and you guys probably agree that, you could have some more stuff based around, having every creature, or you can have some stuff around, more lands and stuff. But it's a very nice kind of deck, in my opinion. And you can see there's a lot of lands, which is very nice for a land matter deck, right? There is one card in here that I'm very pissed off about it, though, so I will get that out of the way. So as for the creatures here, we've got a whole bunch of creatures around kind of lands and stuff, landfall, this one here, getting lands from any, getting to look at the top 6 cards of your land, of your library, get a land from it, put it into your hand. Fog Bank here, preventing all damage that would be dealt to it. Hydroikrasis, so this is drawing cards and stuff, which is, there's a few different cards around kind of drawing cards in here too. Poison Dart Frog, getting a print since LCI is very nice. More land stuff, and etc. Now, the first big reprint here is Dryad of the Elysian Grove, a very, very nice reprint. There's also a new art for it, which isn't being shown here, but that's a decent kind of reprint, a very, very good land, land matters card, as well as, decently valuable too. Elvish Rejuvenator here, again, get more lands, Rampant Frogulator. This is a very interesting card. So this is a new one. It gets +10/+10 for each player who has lost the game. When it deals combat damage to a player, you mill that many cards, and then you can put any number of land cards from them onto the battlefield tap. So it's a big kind of finisher, which is nice. Ramnunpat Excavator, allowing you to play lands from your graveyard. Sage of the Maze here, doing stuff with your activating your lands and turning them into citizens based on your gates. So that's another kind of, lands matter kind of thing, with turning everything into gates, as well as there are some gates built in here too. Scoot Swarm getting another reprint since OTC. Very, very, very nice card here. Skullwinder, being able to return target cards from your graveyard to your hand, then another player gets to do it. Uro, a reprint here. That's a nice reprint as well. A very, very nice reprint. Jotai is another, that's a secondary face commander. Essentially, it's going to create land creature tokens, forest dryad land creature tokens for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone, and then also land creatures you control get +X/+X. So it's a way to kind of shift more into land creatures. Other ways to kind of activate your lands and stuff. You can change some of the mana base here to be more around those land creatures and stuff, and then replace Jotai there. Put Jotai as the face commander. Tachova getting a reprint here is good too. Ulvenwald, Hydra getting, +1, getting its power and toughness based on the amount of lands you've got. Avenger of Zendikar getting a reprint too. That was a reprint in OTC too. There's a lot of crossover between this and the OTC Precon here. Apex Devastator, I thought was Apex Devastator getting a reprint too is a very, very nice reprint as well there. So yeah, you know, already within the creatures, there's already some nice reprints. Some of these, the price here is based off of the fact that, you know, they're new cards and stuff that haven't settled yet. But like, you know, Uro getting a reprint here is a decent value. You know, even Scoot Swarm getting a reprint here is really good. The Planeswalkers, you know, you got 2 Planeswalkers here. You've got some decent spells with like Pongify, because of the Swine's not too bad too. You know, the new March of Velas Vel, making each land you control that type become a target creature too. So you get to choose a non-basic land. So you get to animate all of your creatures and everything. Is really, really good. And because of the fact that you're not even animating them, you're turning them into a target creature. You know, lots of really great ways you can potentially do that. Overall, you know, the spells are, you know, very decent ones. I actually really like a lot of the spells that they've chosen here, the instants and sorceries and stuff. Hour of Promise getting a reprint here is really good. And you see there, you know, some stuff to do with deserts too. So, you know, more lands matter stuff. As for, you know, as for the artifact, you know, we've got Expedition Map here to be able to get us a land, like, you know, search for any land there, Chromatic Lantern to kind of mana fix, but I don't think Chromatic Lantern is necessary in just a Simic deck, right? Like, I don't think that's necessary in just a Simic deck. It's not too bad, but, you know, yeah, I don't know, especially a Simic deck that turns all your lands into all types of lands as well. Let's see what else. See, your Sundial's pretty good, allowing you to draw cards whenever your lands come in. The new copy land, that is really good, right? When you may have it enter as a copy of any land on the battlefield, except it's enchantment. So you can copy, you know, some of your big lands. If you got like a decent land, then that's good. Mana Reflection getting a reprint here, and this is the one that I hate. Desert Warfare. This card pisses me off more than any card that has probably been released since I've started playing. The reason why is because this is an insane card for a desert-based deck, and they literally just printed a desert-based deck, right? So this is whenever you sacrifice a desert, and whenever a desert card is put into the graveyard from your hand or library, put that card on the battlefield under your control at the beginning of your next end step. My Yuma deck could have used this so many times. And you get to create, you know, red, green, white sand creatures sand warriors based on however many deserts you've got. Oh man, this is just so good. It could have been printed here and within the OTC deck, but for some reason not. The lands in here are really good. They actually printed some new lands, which is really interesting. So you've got a new desert here. We've got a new normal land. I think there was like a new Lotus one as well. But the issue that I have with the lands overall, and I kind of understand, sorry, new Locust one I meant. I kind of understand why it is, but I don't necessarily like it, is that a lot of the lands are tap lands, right? A lot of the lands are tap lands. So the first thing that I would be doing and looking at with this deck is something like Spelunking. Spelunking is probably one of my favorite kind of sleeper cards. When it first came out, you know, not many people were kind of talking about it, but it makes it so that all your lands enter untapped. Because of the way you've got this deck kind of built up, there are so many tap lands or ways that you're going to be bringing in more lands and stuff that are going to enter tapped and stuff like that. So having more ways for those to enter untapped is always going to be good. You got the Planet Nexus here, which is every non-basic land type. The Talon Gates of Madara, so a new gate there. The Sunken Palace is a new cave. You know, there's Vesuva getting a reprint is crazy here. Like, I wouldn't have thought that they'd reprint that into any kind of commander product or anything. So that's a really great reprint. And Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth, getting a reprint here too. The big thing that I want to talk about though is that, as I said, like, a lot of these are tap lands. That's a little bit unfortunate. You don't want your lands to be entering tapped, so having ways to be able to untap your lands is going to be important. you know, you don't want these lands to necessarily be stuck as tapped or anything. Even like Zolotoyak. This dude here, making it so that, you know, turning your lands into islands is good, as well as the fact that it untaps, right? So he can fit in there, and you can untap all your lands with him. As long as, you know, you've put, look at this, each permanent you control with a counter on it. He would fit so well into this deck, right? Zolotoyak would fit so well into this deck because of the fact that you've already got your commander chucking out a whole bunch of tokens, you know, a whole bunch of counters onto your lands. You can then, you know, use him to untap them all as well. It's crazy. This is actually would be really great upgrade. I'm actually surprised that he's not in the base deck there. Maybe because of the fact that he's already in a commander product. So overall, you know, this deck is really nice. There's some more, you know, some more like landfall stuff that I definitely could have seen being printed in here. But the reprint value alone is crazy. The fact that there's so many new lands and stuff, like, you know, in the new desert precon, the Deserts Matter precon, there was barely any deserts. I don't think there was any new deserts actually within that. Maybe one new desert. Actually, no, I don't remember if there was a new desert or not. But, you know, there's so many new lands in here that it's really great. I actually love this precon. This has gone from being my least favorite to probably my favorite. So, but I freaking hate that card. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I hope you guys had a wonderful day and goodbye.